Viewers, the child rape scandal in the UK has shocked the world. Thousands of young girls, some as young as 11, were systematically raped, trafficked, exploited. The scale of the abuse, the brutality of the crimes, and the institutional failures that allowed these atrocities to continue unchecked for years demand a reckoning far beyond what we've seen. The Pakistan link, and I want to underline that, the Pakistan link, viewers, to the rape gangs has brought to the forefront uncomfortable truths about race, religion, and the politics of fear. Viewers, this demographic detail isn't about demonizing an entire community, but highlighting a very specific cultural and criminal issue that must be addressed head on. In fact, in one of the court orders, the judge has gone on to say, and allow me to quote, "All of you treated them as though they were worthless and beyond all respect. I believe that one of the factors that led to that was they were not of your community or religion," unquote. Viewers, this is the judge saying it. Mind you, the silence and inaction from authorities driven by fears of being labeled racist or igniting racial tensions have left young lives shattered. Viewers, this was not just a failure of policy, but a grave betrayal of trust, a moral abdication by those who were supposed to protect and ensure justice. People like Elon Musk, J.K. Rowling have rightly called out this scandal not just for the crimes committed, but for the systematic denial and cover-up that enabled it. Musk's pointed critique of how these cases were handled underlines a systematic failure where political correctness seemed to trump justice. Rowling questions about the question about why we call these rapists grooming gangs rather than directly addressing them as rape gangs strikes at the heart of a larger issue. Viewers, the term grooming has been used to sugarcoat the brutality, to make the public more comfortable with discussing these heinous acts, diluting the gravity of what was essentially rape, torture, and trafficking of children. Viewers, we must challenge the narrative that seeks to euphemize these atrocities. Calling these acts grooming is a moral betrayal, suggesting a lesser crime than what was committed. We must speak plainly about rape, about trafficking, about the systematic abuse of power and innocence to truly honor the victims and prevent future horrors. It is time that the ecosystem and the apologists must end their denial. Kamru Choudhury, member of the Indian diaspora, is joining us from UK. Ratan Sharda, Suhel Seth, Vivek Srivastav, Kamru Choudhury, stay on. Mr. Choudhury, I want to begin by asking you, what do you make of the child rape scandal? And if you could quickly break this down for our viewers.
Well, simply put, I think this is Britain's biggest shame. And in the history of Britain, something like this, where they have been abused, these are white girls, as you pointed out correctly. These were white girls, and 1,400 is a number which is a conservative estimate. But if you look at what has happened over 2 decades, they are almost, the numbers go into hundreds and thousands. So these are white girls, hundreds and thousands of them, who have been systematically groomed, and again, groomed sort of whitewashes the atrocities that have happened, have been groomed or raped, the rape gangs is the better term, by Pakistani Muslim men. And this came up in the news sometime around 2010 because these crimes were happening from 1997 to 2003. In fact, they go back as early as the 70s when an MP had pointed out that there are Asian, and I say that within quotes, because we need to de-link the Asian identity with the Indian identity, because these crimes have been predominantly committed by Pakistani men against white young girls. So this is the scale of monstrosity that has taken place. And what is shocking is the complicity of the agencies, be it the social services, be it the police, be it the MPs, elected MPs. You have on record the Labour Party parliamentary chairman having said that let's not talk about the ethnicity of these men because it is going to get us votes. So the fact that these communities vote en bloc, the fact that the representatives in the council hushed up so many of these cases, the fact that the social services failed these young children as young as 11, 12, and 13. And if you go through the the reports, the transcripts, the judicial transcripts, it is atrocious, it is harrowing. So this is what has taken place, and I think this is what has rocked the boat here in Britain, because earlier also this had happened, but today everybody is speaking about it and is demanding justice and is saying, we have to say it as it is. These are Pakistani Muslim men who, for a period of 2 decades, have raped and groomed these young children across the United Kingdom.
Vivek Srivastava,
and there has been silence.
Will you call out the rape gang?
Yes. No. A rape gang, yes, but if you're trying to say that it is the Pakistani nationals only, Muslims only, they are the only community in the world who should be blamed, ये सारे मुसलमान रेपिस्ट हैं, ये सारे के सारे रेशियल हैं, ये सारे atrocities करते हैं. I don't agree with you. 65,000 cases of women atrocities, 2022 NCRB data, Uttar Pradesh, and 95% are Hindus. Are you trying to say that we Hindus are also like that? Does somebody have an answer? एक साल 65,000 case. So I mean, giving twists on basis of religion is not done. मेक्सिको बॉर्डर से अमेरिका में सारी ड्रग्स आती हैं, सारे मेक्सिकन ड्रग लॉर्ड्स हो गए. आई मीन व्हाट इज दिस नॉनसेंस गोइंग ऑन? अडानी साहब के पोर्ट पे ड्रग्स उतरे थे, कहां से आए? इस देश के अंदर हर जगह पे ड्रग्स बिक रहे हैं, कौन बेच रहा है? ये कम्युनिटीज को लाना बीच में और मुसलमानों को बुरा भला कहना.
1 minute, why do you making a fool of yourself every evening? Why do you do this to yourself, sir? क्या सवाल था, क्या जवाब दे रहे हैं आप? What has Adani got to do with this? I mean, come on, sir. 1 minute, sir, 1 minute. थोड़ा बहुत जो मॉरल कंपस है अगर बचा है तो उसको डिस्प्ले भी तो कीजिए, एग्जिबिट इट सो दैट पीपल नो दैट द मैन इज देयर. आई मीन come on, Vivek Srivastava, let me read some of the testimonies. 1 minute. And by the way, Vivek Srivastava, 1 minute, I quoted the judge. Is the judge a Sanghi, as the ecosystem calls people who don't subscribe to their ideology or narrative? Is he from the RSS or the BJP? Now listen to what has been written by the victims, the survivors. You knew her well. You made her feel that she had to comply with your wishes to enforce your demands. You told her you would come and burn her house down, burn her little brother. She believed you. It was always in the back of her mind. Quite apart from using her for your own sexual self-gratification, you coerced her into providing sex to vast numbers of strangers. Men would say they had come a long way to see her. Men who would come as having a pack mentality. Threats were made to kill her. Your only concern were your own self-gratification and the satisfaction of your customers, so you could achieve commercial gain. And let me quote that again, what the judge has said, so that you understand. All of you treated them as though they were worthless and beyond all respect. I believe that one of the factors that led to that was that they were not of your community or religion. ये क्या है? What do you make of this?
मैं बता देता हूं. I'll tell you, give me 10 seconds. इस देश में जहां आप बैठे हैं और इस शहर में आप बैठे हैं, जीबी रोड का कोठा है, कमाठीपुरा है, आप बंगाल में जाइए, झांसी में जाइए,
Vivek Srivastava, 1 minute. Stop ridiculing the plight of these survivors. You are trivializing a serious issue. You are comparing this to GB Road? Really? Suhel? I asked him one question, he can't take a position on this. And then these people, who are part of a larger ecosystem, were all out on roads to dismantle Hindutva.
So I totally agree with what Manu has said. I go to England almost every month, actually every month. The decline under the last 3 prime ministers has been very, very visible. Whether it was Theresa May and then, Liz Truss, and of course, what had happened with Rishi, who was more woke than most, and now Starmer. And the problem is very severe because you also have a mayor in London City, a gentleman by the name of Sadiq Khan, who is absolutely, absolutely caste and community driven. What has also happened is that in order to placate the woke culture or the so-called, we are very secular, we are about an we are about equitable justice and an equal society, the Pakistani community has gone totally insane. Parts of the Pakistani community. It's unfair to blame everyone. What are we seeing? We are seeing riot situations in Birmingham, in Leicester. We have seen that in London. Today, London ranks in the top 5 unsafest cities in the world. And it is all pointing to one community because that community believes that it will set up ghettos.
Right.
Let me tell you, Pranesh, and Manu will correct me if I'm wrong. There are parts in London, whether it's Tooting, there are parts in Birmingham, Leicester, where even the British police does not go in. Scotland Yard doesn't touch those areas in London, and the Greater Metropolitan Police, whether it is in Birmingham or Leicester, they don't even enter those areas. What has happened is they are continuously attacking. It's much like what's happened in France, and then Macron had to step in. What has happened is they've created ghetto-like situations, and it's almost islanding themselves from the larger community. And because of the so-called leniency of the legal system in Britain, they can get away with blue murder.
You see, Suhel, which is why I said the political correctness in the midst of all of this monstrosity. I mean, look at Vivek Srivastava, for example. Ratan Sharda, were you expecting Vivek Srivastava to say what he did?
Well, his job is to come every day and take his own Communist Party's grave. He will not rest till he has buried Communist Party for good. Now, coming to the main point, we have been labelled, these criminals have been labelled as Asians. What is Vivek's interest in trying to paint everybody white and paint everybody black and coming back to India every time you see something in UK? Why he speaks Pakistani language? The people who raped young girls as young as 5 years, I will read from Samantha Smith. She says, I was 5 when I was abused. Like 96.5% of sex abuse cases, CPS refused to take my abusers to court, and they went on television asking her, did she consent? Is this the kind of thing that I expect? For years together, this community-based approach to rape and dishonor young girls was going on. Have we seen any such effort anywhere? Only I can remember is love jihad in India. Let us be very frank and very upfront. Love jihad is nothing. It is similar to the sexual grooming called, or basically pedophilia. So are you supporting pedophilia by calling into UP or Bihar and whatever? He just comes here and makes fool of himself. You are making Pakistanis Muslims equal to Indians and calling one of the Asians. We have no word for that. And this is something new. It started
the Chinese are great friends. The Chinese are great friends of Pakistan. Every time a terrorist is on the list of the UN, the China uses its veto to come to Pak's rescue. Now, that is unrelated to what Vivek Srivastava said. Our viewers know it. Kamru Choudhury, will you call out this? Because you see, there was a campaign to dismantle Hindutva. Yeah. How would you describe this?
No, Pranesh, honestly speaking, this is one of the most heinous crimes that has been exposed as of now. Because of this court judgment, there is no denying it. But my limited take on this is that we must view the entire issue of criminal gangs operating for their criminality, for their lust, for their business, or whatever you may call it. But rather than, please do not link that with culture and religion. It has got nothing to do, because the judge's order clearly states that some of the defendants try to go behind the religion and culture and try to accuse the investigators of being racist in nature. That was clearly written in the judgment out there. And when the judge read out the other, be it the white or Asians, I believe in that whites there were whites from the European countries also involved. Asian could have involved, some Pakistanis out there, some Bangladeshis also out there. I'm not getting into the details of that. But those young girls who have gone through so much
the main
in
issue.
UK,
You're overlooking the main issue. Ratan Sharda, quickly.
I am surprised that Kamru Zaman, who tries to show his secular face, is not ready to read the name of all the accused, nor does he look at the nationality of all the accused. He says, don't bring in, religion. It's just like them saying, if there's a Hindu caught, there is saffron terror. If any terrorist, Muslim terrorist captured, don't bring in religion. Then it is as broad daylight as it is possible to see the kind of crime done over years together with very good planning, that they want to dishonor girls. There's a boy who says she had worn small short skirt. It's her mistake. Are you defending that also? What is the mindset? Your mindset, you have pedophilia, and you said this is not a crime. Don't link it to religion. don't bring into community when 96%
You know, the clip that you're talking about, the man has said something so despicable that I don't want to repeat it. I don't want to even repeat it. He go, you know, Suhel, I'm sure you've seen the clip. He makes it about size. When, you know, people should be talking about science. I mean, this is the mentality mindset. There was a Twitter handle. It was called Dismantling Hindutva. And there were several posts. One was, rape was used as the subjugation and humiliation of communities. Now, drawing the same equivalence riles people like Vivek Srivastava. But then they had come on the show to defend this campaign. Vivek Srivastava.
Yes. Can I speak now? देखिए, पहली चीज तो प्रणेश, अगर आप मुझे बुलाएं तो मुझे बोलने दीजिए और लूज शब्दों का प्रयोग मत करिए. वामपंथी मार्क्सिज्म एक बहुत सीरियस चीज होती है. और पहली चीज, यहां पे ना कमरू जमान ने ना हमने विमेन एट्रोसिटीज, रेप्स, ट्रैफिकिंग को जस्टिफाई किया है. हमने एक चीज अपने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के हिसाब से बोली है, जो मेरा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन मुझे राइट देता है. क्राइम क्राइम है. मैंने आपको यूपी का एग्जांपल दिया, 65,000 केस विमेन के एट्रोसिटीज के हैं.
मैंने आपसे
एक साल के अंदर उत्तर
मैंने आपसे एक सीधा सवाल पूछा था. मैंने आपसे 1 मिनट, आपको याद होगा, मैंने पूछा था between Basha, who was a convicted terrorist who died, and Allu Arjun, who is more dangerous. You said both are equally dangerous. Now 1 minute, sir, ये तो है, आपकी आइडियोलॉजी तो ये है, you can't call out terror. आपके लिए गुड टेरर होता है, नॉट सो गुड टेरर होता है, बैड टेरर होता है. और फिर आप बोलते हैं कि आप मुझे ऐसे मत बोलिए, बोलने दीजिए. You've compared, you know, this ghastly crime to what happens in GB Road, Vivek Srivastava. Do you know how this will be received? When people who are, you know, watching this, what will they make of you?
You are being judgmental and you don't have the guts to let me speak.
I am being judgmental.
That is no problem. The moment I speak, आप घबराते हैं और मुझे रोकते हैं. आप
बोलिए सर. आप
जजमेंटल आदमी हैं. यूके में जो हुआ वो गलत है, नहीं होना चाहिए. पूरे विश्व में होता है, गलत है. लेकिन अगर आप नेशनल टीवी पे बैठ के, टाइम्स नाउ के प्लेटफॉर्म पे, इतनी बड़ी पोजीशन पे, उसका जिम्मेदार इस्लाम, मुसलमान और खासकर पाकिस्तानी या किसी नेशनैलिटी को बोलेंगे तो मैं विरोध करूंगा.
ऐसा कोई नहीं कह रहा.
मेरे मुल्क में भी होती है.
ऐसा कोई नहीं कह रहा. विवेक श्रीवास्तव
को भी रोकिए.
विवेक श्रीवास्तव ऐसा कोई नहीं कह रहा है.
मैं गलत नहीं.
सुहेल,
मैं गलत नहीं हूं.
Is going to get a heart attack on these television programs. Just keep sobriquet, keep a virtual sobriquet for people so they pop it virtually. Otherwise, one day someone will get a heart attack. And I don't want to lose my good friend Vivek. He's a damn decent guy. He's got a great mind. Don't lose your cool. I worry for you, my friend.
No, he's a decent guy. I don't know about the mind, you know, the second bit about his mind. But, you know, Ms. Khajuria, you have the last word on the show.
Pranesh, let me just first of all set things in order. We are talking about the biggest crimes, sexual crimes in Britain. हम ब्रिटेन की बात कर रहे हैं, उत्तर प्रदेश की बात नहीं कर रहे, कहीं और की बात नहीं कर रहे. Secondly, by this, you know, if you go by the recent reports, it shows that the Pakistani Muslim men टॉप द चार्ट्स ऑफ ग्रूमिंग गैंग क्रिमिनल्स. तो ये एक फैक्ट है, ये ओपिनियन नहीं है, ये मेरा ओपिनियन नहीं है, सुहेल जी का नहीं है, रतन जी का नहीं है. दीज आर फैक्ट्स, दीज आर कोल्ड हार्ड फैक्ट्स, मैथ्स. एंड व्हाट इज बीइंग सेड इन ब्रिटेन टुडे, व्हाट इज बीइंग सेड इन ब्रिटेन, नॉट इन दिल्ली, नॉट समवेयर एल्स, ये कहा जा रहा है कि बिकॉज ऑफ द फियर ऑफ इस्लामोफोबिया, बिकॉज ऑफ द फियर ऑफ बीइंग कॉल्ड आउट और लेबल्ड एज अ रेसिस्ट, पुलिस ने, सोशल सर्विसेज ने, बहुत सारे एमपीज ने, वी हैव अ पाकिस्तानी ओरिजिन एमपी नाज शाह who actually liked and retweeted a, you know, tweet which said कि इन लड़कियों को चुप बैठना चाहिए, they should shut their mouths for the sake of diversity. हम ऐसे लोगों की बात कर रहे हैं. और ब्रिटेन में आज यहाँ का जो व्हाइट ब्रिटिश है वो यही कह रहा है कि वी आर अनेबल टू कॉल आउट एंड कनेक्ट द डॉट्स एंड यू नो मेक ऑब्वियस दीज पैटर्न्स व्हिच क्लियरली शोज दैट पाकिस्तानी मुस्लिम मेन आर लीडिंग, हेडिंग, ऑर्गेनाइजिंग these rape gangs. And ये white girls के साथ कर रहे हैं, और अब तो हिंदू लड़कियों के साथ भी हो रहा है, सिख लड़कियों के साथ भी हो रहा है. We have many community organizations which have come up to provide services.
विवेक श्रीवास्तव, 30 seconds. बोलिए.
और ये एजेंडा है और ये प्रोपेगेंडा कर रही है. मेरा टोटल ऑब्जेक्शन है इस बात के ऊपर. आप सिर्फ एजेंडा लेकर के आई हैं.
Yeah, Vivek Srivastava, I thought you'll say something better. We've run out of time, viewers. I'm leaving it to, you know, for you to judge what people have said. The gravity of the case and the details, some of which we've discussed. I just hope better sense prevails and the apologists end the denial. The news are on the other side.